like a lot of the world and like the Warriors tonight, we are mourning the loss of the great Muhammad Ali. There will be a moment of silence before tonight's Game 2. Among those who have offered their perspective on Ali, the great Bill Russell, one of the NBA's all-time greats, who issued this statement, quote, "It's difficult for me to talk about my friend because real friendship is private. Muhammad Ali knew how to be a friend, and that's one of the hardest things to come by. I met him when he returned from the Olympics in 1960. I invited him to my house, which I used to do for all the Olympic gold medalists that I knew. We shared that experience. He knew how to be a friend, and I'll never forget that about him. His friendship meant a great deal to me." And I know for so many elite athletes, he was sort of at the top of the heap of guys who were not only revered but respected and sort of worshipped by even other athletes like yourself.
Yeah, he was the most compelling character boxing has ever seen. Civil rights leader, philanthropist, and he did so many things that have been untalked about. My favorite Muhammad Ali story in Kuwait, 1980. There were 15 hostages. Ali goes over there by himself, get the hostages free. So stuff like that. It was all about peace. He was a great man. For me in my household, when my father couldn't get through to me as a medium-level juvenile delinquent, he'd always show me Muhammad Ali clips, would always show me his quotes. And he said, "Look, Muhammad Ali comes from the same place you come. I know you have a weird name. I know kids talk about, talk about you because of your name. Muhammad Ali has a similar type name. You can do it. He can do. You can do it." So, he's definitely my hero, my kids' hero, my family's hero. He will definitely be missed, but never forgotten. I'll be 60 in 20 years. His name will still be around, along with Michael Jackson and Prince. That's a true definition of a hero and a legend to me, that they will never, ever, ever, ever be forgotten.
Well, I think everything has been said. I would just regurgitate what Shaq said. What he meant to all of us as not only just an athlete, civil rights leader, as he said, and everything else he's done. I think the most important thing is to remember how he affected change and how he made change happen. And I almost feel remiss, and I kind of bring an energy towards something that I probably wouldn't typically do it, but just reading the comments that Piers Morgan said about Muhammad Ali really frustrated me in the sense that, saying that, well, he said so many things, inflammatory, racist remarks about white people, as more than Trump has said about Muslims. So to me, first of all, Muhammad Ali wasn't running for president.
Right.
So in any kind of presidential situation, that person shouldn't have any kind of comments that are inflammatory in terms of race, creed, or color. Secondly, Muhammad Ali was talking to a different audience in the 60s. He was talking to uneducated, prejudiced, evil, not thinking people. And he's also talking to a different African-American audience than it is in 2016, where today we have a different assimilation between all of us together. So if Pierce, you understand that we're not here to debate or argue, we're just here to educate you, that he was talking to a different audience and feeling a different time, and he was going through a different situation that you probably would never understand and be able to understand and really merit by making a comment like that on a day of his death, when we should be celebrating how great he was and why he wanted to make those inflammatory statements to get the attention to make the change.
Well, and speaking of inflammatory, that's just opportunistic clickbait nonsense on his part.
Thank you. Glad you said it, man.
You met Muhammad Ali at a time around his most iconic post-boxing moment, post-fight, post-career moment at the '96 Olympics.
Right, I did, and I was with Shaq. We're on the '96 Olympic team, and just, for me, there's few times in my life that I've been in awe. And when Ali came in and addressed all of us and spent time, I tell you, the emotions, the excitement, but to be able to interact with him, he came from a place of love and really wanted to put a smile on your face and understood his impact. And so that moment that I had a chance to share with Ali and of course Shaq and Reggie and Charles Barkley were on that team, it's something that I remember for the rest of my life. And just to extend with what Kenny was saying, forget about what he said, it's what he did and how he lived his life. He said he was great, and he lived a great life. And so I think he will, as Shaq said,
greatest of all time.
Yep.
And not only that, he influenced a lot of others. He was You know, for me, when I watched him, especially when he was talking smack, I realized that coming up, I realized that let's market him. And I kind of copied that. Like I would, big Aristotle, I would do this, I would say that. Sacramento, Queens, all that stuff. I got that from Muhammad Ali. Like he would say, you know what, Listen's going down in 3, a bumble, you know, butterfly, rumble, sting like a whatever. But when I was watching him as a youngster, I was like, man, I hope to be that good. And if I ever get to that level, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
He was the first great trash talker
yes, he was.
in professional sports, and so many have been so articulate on the subject of Muhammad Ali and what he meant to them, including the great Jerry West, who said his presence was almost godlike. That's a quote from him, and we'll hear from Jerry a little later on in this show.